Hi everybody, my name is MarcoAntonio Spaventi, and we're here in Barcelona in my studio today. I would really like to talk to you about a particular feature of a plugin that I use in my daily work, a plugin from Leapwing Audio, a plugin called DynOne. As many of you probably already know, DynOne is a specific type of processor, and it's used to apply multiband compression or multiband parallel compression, but you can also set it, for example, to do expansion. So it's already versatile, to begin with. But there is a particular feature of DynOne that I want to talk to you about today, which is a very unique feature because it features an algorithm that is already available in another plugin from Leapwing called CenterOne. And it basically is an algorithm that lets you manipulate the stereo field. You might already know a technique called MS, mid-side encoding, which is out there for forever, in the audio industry. And it's a traditional way, let's say, to handle your stereo field, where you can do a sum and difference of the channels to be able to sort of isolate the image in the center and the image on the sides, so the sum and the difference. But CenterOne uses a different algorithm that was designed by Leapwing, and it's a proprietary algorithm that sounds, I must say honestly, much better. It's more accurate. It really lets you decide what's in the center and what's on the sides, lets you divide that, lets you process that individually, so it's a very groundbreaking, processing available. And what they did at Leapwing, they introduced this processing as a sidechain control inside DynOne. So you would normally use DynOne in stereo mode, meaning it's your classic stereo processor where you have your left and your right. There is not a way to use DynOne in MS mid-side encoding, and that is also because you don't need to. So let's take a look together in the settings here. They call it CS, center and sides. So originally this algorithm is present in CenterOne, the other plugin from Leapwing. And that plugin, you just use it to control a little bit the balance between the center and the sides, using this algorithm indeed. But what they did with DynOne is they integrated it into the sidechain, so all of a sudden DynOne can do multi-band parallel compression or expansion, so dynamic processing, separately for the center and the sides. It's an amazing feature, and why? Because you can use the concept of multi-band parallel compression that gives you all of those, fancy solutions that we already know about, probably from previous DynOne videos or from you guys using it. So you can do tonal control, you can do extra punch, extra volume, you can emphasize parts of the spectrum. I mean, multi-band parallel processing is already powerful by itself. But with this feature, it goes even further. And why? Because all of a sudden you can do multi-band parallel processing, so multi-band parallel compression, expansion, or dynamic processing. You can isolate that and do that if you want, only in the center, only on the sides, or a blend of both, and also per band. So it pushes the possibilities even a step further. So let me show you today an example about it. Why do I use it? Well, I do a lot of mastering in my daily work, and it comes in super handy to have this tool available, because you can do stuff like whatever appears to be in the center, grab it and bring it a little bit closer to you by introducing some parallel compression, parallel processing. You can enlarge the feeling of the sides because you add volume, you add definition there using parallel processing. In this particular example from today, what I want to do, I've got the preset here ready so I can, show you already the arriving point. And first of all, let me show you 1 second on screen how the interface changes slightly from left and right to CNS, center and sides type of processing. All of a sudden, when you switch the plugin to channel mode CS, here on top, you have the selection between C and S. So in other words, you can click on C and be able to control the center of the signal, and you can click on S and be able to control the sides. And as you can see, it's different settings. Now, of course, you can link, the parameter control, so you can do a global change if you wanted to by clicking on this thing here in the middle. And of course, you can link or unlink the relative bands here. But this is a feature that you should be already, used to if you use the plugin in left and right mode. The difference here being that the CS appear as an option now, so you can do one or the other. So when I click on C, you can see that I just blended in a little bit of the faders to get a bit more punch from the center image. And on S, instead, I enhanced, in particular, the low mid-range, because it brings warmth and it brings extra depth to the piano part of this song. So let's play an example 1 second. I'm going to turn the plugin on. So I want to let you hear immediately, you know, the A-B difference. So I'm going to turn the plugin on, and I'm going to turn the bypass on inside the plugin and play. It's amazing. So with the plugin on, you can hear how everything gets a little bit more detailed. The overall volume it's up, goes up, and the depth is like the feeling of depth is fuller because you're enlarging the perception of the sides, and you're doing that on a specific band or a blend of the various bands. So clear the difference already. Let me hide this one so we can go a couple of minutes into settings here. We can play a little bit with the plugin. I made a preset. It's called CS Start. I have it here available. And why? Because with this preset, I already preset the plugin to be in CS mode, all the faders down, with the parallel mode on. So when I switch the plugin on and I turn CS Start, basically I load my preset, I start with like a fully dry signal, but I can bring up the faders to get a little bit of the effect. And the faders are linked with each other, so let's check it out. So I was now operating on the faders of only the center channel. And you can immediately hear how, whatever is in the center, so the drums, the bass, the punch of the kick drum, the sharpness of the snare, the air around the instrument, everything gets enhanced, and it gives you a very, very strong focus in the center because you're only powering up that part of the signal. Now we switch on S, like that, and we play a little bit. Conversely to using only the center channel, now we're using the side channels, and you can hear how the whole ambience comes up. All the effects, the delay, the detail. You can even hear a little bit of this vinyl crackle, that it's something hidden in one of the samples that I used in the production. You captured it from vinyl. Now, when I boost the sides, everything comes so like more in your face. So obviously I was pushing the faders all the way up to let you hear the effect very clearly. Used with a little bit of touch, with a little bit of sensitivity, it's a really powerful tool. Because you're not really adding anything to the signal, to the music that was not there. You're not adding color unless you want to. You're not adding distortion. You're not adding harmonics. You're not doing phase. It's like the plugin is very linear, absolutely accurate sounding, and also very natural sounding. And that one reason is because of the attack and release times, which are always a range. It's not always like one value, but it's a range of values. It's a very musical approach. So why using it? Because it's powerful, because it sounds great, because it gives you a lot of possibilities, and it's quick and efficient, I would say. So hope you enjoyed the video, and I will be seeing you in the next one.